Okay, so my 2016 WSOP main summary. First, this is pretty much my first entry into tournament poker. I played a tournament back in like 2013 or something, a 1K WSOP event. But these were my, my first tournaments essentially. And I played four. I played a 2.5K, a 2.5K, a 5K, and the main event, and a 3K. And basically, I came in fourth place in a 5K 6 max, which was a really good field and really good. So fourth place final table was amazing. And then I went deep to day 5 in the main event, cashing at 186 out of close to 7,000 for like 44K. So basically, my initial investment was 17,500. I returned with a little bit under 200K, like 199,000 or something like that. So it was definitely a great series for me, and it was my first real approach to tournament poker. Ultimately very new to them. I'm obsessed. I love tournament poker, but that's another thing. So a couple things that I want to fill you in on. First, I definitely ran above average, and I'm going to talk about what running well means in another video because it's a much bigger concept than just getting good hands. It's navigation. It's your hands you get the right hands at the right time. Like I was running well, or definitely above average for sure. Tells played a gigantic role in my success. To be honest, if I didn't have my work in Beyond Tells, I don't think I would have made it that far. There were so many different spots where Tells played a role, and I'm going to create some videos about that. But there are a lot of binary decisions where, like, I know a player's marginal, I know they didn't connect with that flop, and I made a very aggressive play. One of the things I'm really proud of is my opponents were definitely confused by me, which I love. So I was taking lines I was doing things that you just don't do in poker. Like I would go all in on a flop for 70 big blinds when the pot was like 22. I was just doing non-traditional things because of Tells. And it was cool because like the players would look at me and they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? And then I got into one kind of like a table argument where this player, he didn't berate me, but he made some sort of comment, right? And he was kind of like, oh, like that's a really fishy thing to do. And I said to him, I was like, listen, my desired action was to get you to fold, and you folded. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, please tell me what I did wrong. Like, I wanted X, and I accomplished X via this path. And I really do find it interesting that a lot of tournament players, like, there's just specific things that you should do and shouldn't do and so on and so forth. And if you just stay slightly above that, you can have a significant edge on players who are very talented. So the whole argument is that I knew how the talented tournament pros were thinking, or kind of how they were thinking, and I was able to slightly exploit that, and they weren't able to figure me out until after a while. They kind of like, all right, I think this guy knows what he's doing. But it was definitely interesting. I was taking very weird lines. I was kind of doing cool things where I was like balancing the craziness that I did. So like sometimes I would jam with the nuts, and sometimes I would jam with the bluff. I would do it was very, very, very interesting and fun. A couple other things, I was more anxious than I've ever been playing cash games. So maybe, that's not true. Maybe earlier on in my cash game career, like 9 years ago or 10 years ago, I was anxious playing high stakes. But oh man, I was playing I've sat down at tables where more money was at stake in a cash game than was coming in first place in the tournament. But the anxiety of the cameras and the people, and I love the fact we're a tournament, you can't just reload. Like you get knocked out for good. Like I love that. There were so many moments where I was like all in for my tournament life and with complete air and just hoping that it, and telling a convincing story and picking my spots very wisely. But still, it's kind of like a little stressful. I definitely need to do a lot of work to become a more competent tournament poker player. The first and foremost is stamina. I don't think you realize, like, if any of you have been at the WSOP and played any of these events, these are long days. Like in the main, I was starting at 11 and finishing at 2 a.m. That's a lot of poker. And this is coming from a person whose motto is like, if you're not thinking, you're gambling. It's somewhere here. If you're not thinking, you're gambling. So basically what I would do is like, I'd play a 5-hour session. And if I wasn't feeling fully focused, I would leave. I never worked on extending my stamina. I worked on just getting really smart about like, all right, my stamina peaked. I'm done. I got to get out. So I really need to work on that. And part of that's just going to be playing more. I need to play some more longer sessions. I need to kind of track in time to see how much I can do it. Another thing I need to be better at is becoming unattached to the fluctuations in tournament poker. Tournament poker is such a fucking mind, it's insane because like all of a sudden, you know, you have 200K, you have 100 big blinds, then 3 hands later, you've got 20, then 20s to 60, and then 60s back to 120, and now you have 240K. Like it's just these roller coasters of there's a lot of fluctuation, right? And one of the things I was noticing is that like the really good tournament players seem to be unaffected by those fluctuations. So they'd be down to 30 big blinds and they'd still be kind of like, they'd be fine. Where the kind of experienced poker players would get down to that and you'd see that they were visually frustrated or visually angry. So I want to work on that unattachment because really you are not out in these events until you're out. Like it's that simple. I mean, like I went from the beginning of day 3. I mean, no, the middle of day 4, I was like, I had 20, like, I went down to 20K in the main or something like that, or 30, not 20K, I wasn't that low. It was like 60K in the main, and then I tripled up, then doubled up, and I finished the day with like 700K. I mean, like there's so much that I need to work on. Another thing is mixed games. I'm sick and tired of just being a Hold'em expert or an expert in no limit Hold'em. I mean, like there's so many other variations of poker that I want to get competent at. So I'm really working on Deuce 7 triple draw and PLO and a bunch of different variants. I want to be a well-rounded poker player, not somebody who's just good in Hold'em. So I'm really doing that. At the end, it was an incredible experience. I had a lot of support from tons of you sending me emails and on Twitter and on YouTube commenting and a ton of friends. Evan at Grips, Ed, he was amazing, giving me amazing advice, which I updated throughout this. John at PLO Quick Pro. I mean, there's so many people that were supporting Christian Soto and Brian and so many players that were just like so cool during the whole thing. And my girlfriend was being very supportive the entire time. My team was being very supportive the entire time. Eddie and Zuli and all these people. So it's good to have a real good structure of support when you're playing these events. Like it's really important that you have people that like are supporting you. It's a very difficult thing to do alone. So I'm grateful for that. I'm going to be playing a lot more tournaments from now on. We'll be doing some EPTs, Aussie Millions, and a couple other events before the next WSOP. So I'm officially like addicted to tournaments. Like they're cool. Cash game is like my heart, but like tournaments are my passion or something. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys updated with everything that I'm doing. I'm probably gonna tone down the tournament talk for now. I'm gonna go back to creating more strategy and content videos on YouTube. And that's about it. It was a great series. I'm really excited for the next one, and that's all. Also, starting next week, schoolcards.com/the-fix. We're starting Cash Game Fix, but I'm doing this cool free 7-day series called Cash Game Case Studies, where we're going to examine closely the mistakes that players are making and how we can kind of fine-tune them. It's going to be really cool. So sign up, schoolcards.com/the-fix, the-fix. Links below. That's about it. No bracelet, but one day I'll be in this video with my guarantee you, I'm gonna roll back. One day I'm gonna have my bracelet right here and I'm gonna be like, here's my bracelet. But not yet. I'm patient.